The story of Nathan Hale has ended, but Resistance 3 continues the saga as the scraps of humanity defy extinction on an Earth overrun by the Chimera. Should you answer the call to save mankind, or let others fight in your place? Four years after the end of Resistance 2, the human race has been defeated in war, but yet clings to survival as a new vaccine prevents the Chimeran virus from converting the remaining population. Living with a wife and son in Haven, Oklahoma, Joseph Capelli is a reluctant hero, uninterested in assisting Dr. Malikov on a daring trip to New York, until his wife finally convinces him to go.
I am tired of watching my son die.
It's this sense of connection that distinguishes Resistance 3 from the detached military affairs of previous games. Capelli has something personal at stake, and the pockets of humanity he encounters along the way have all found different ways to cope with being constantly hunted by the enemy. While the story certainly builds a stronger bridge with players, it doesn't quite reach its emotional potential. And with so much already known about the Chimera, the mysteries on the fringes of this episode aren't quite as enticing.
What the hell is it?
Look, Joseph. Straight ahead. A kraken.
Resistance 3 has a well-paced campaign that lasts roughly 8 hours, continually changing things up, whether through new weapons, enemies, or situations. In one area, you'll creep through the woods searching for cloaked snipers, and soon after, you'll be unloading shotgun rounds into a seemingly endless rush of Grims. The changes flow naturally through the game's broader context, and the regular introduction of new elements keeps it from ever growing stale. In addition to the typical extras like art and blooper reels, completing the campaign unlocks cheats to let you mess around or create more challenge in your next playthrough. You can turn on regenerating health, carry any weapon irrespective of mission restrictions, or give better weapons to your enemies, giving you a bit more replay incentive, in addition to simply raising the difficulty.
It's shooting through the walls!
The game also features cooperative play in both online and split-screen flavors. This time there's no additional co-op content, just the chance to bring a friend through the main campaign, fighting together and reviving each other when you fall. However, playing in split screen can be a little rough, as the visual performance doesn't hold up nearly as well. Multiplayer has been scaled back to 8-on-8 battles in fairly standard game modes. In addition to Deathmatch and Capture the Flag, there's Breach, which requires one team to destroy the opposing team's generators, and Chain Reaction, which is a tug-of-war competition for a line of capture points taken in succession. The campaign's health kits are tossed out in favor of regenerating health, and players who rack up kill streaks are rewarded with temporary perks like invisibility, the infamous auger that shoots through walls, and the ability to mutate into an armored beast of destruction. The tools at your disposal are determined by your multiplayer experience. Preset loadouts are followed by custom ones that let you purchase various weapons and skills. Each player has access to 2 abilities with cooldown timers, allowing you to do things like spot enemies for your team or create bubble shields. Additionally, you can equip passive attributes like the ability to carry multiple weapons, or an innate power that causes leapers to spring from your corpse when you die. Like most recent Sony games, Resistance 3 has support for 3D displays and PlayStation Move. However, while the motion controls work well when firing from the hip, looking down the sights locks your view, making it a struggle to fine-tune your aim. Resistance 3 moves away from the giant set-piece monsters of its predecessor in favor of more intimate duels with groups of infantry. That's not to say, however, that there aren't a few bosses. Among other things, you'll face off against dropships, spider-like widowmakers, and a burrowing creature that goes by the name of Satan. The campaign also shrugs off regenerative health in favor of green health canisters. The pickups aren't scarce, but they're spread out enough to create a sense of tension and reinforce the need to play carefully. Insomniac also rightfully focuses Resistance 3 on its greatest strength as a studio, making cool guns. A weapon wheel grants access to your full arsenal, and in addition to old standbys like the auger and the magnum with detonating rounds, there are several new toys to play with. The cryo gun freezes enemies in place, allowing you to shatter them with a melee attack or a concussive blast from the gun's alt-fire. Then there's the Atomizer, an amazing device you'll want to pull out when you're swarmed in close areas. The main fire electrocutes any creature in short range, while the alt-fire creates a gravity well that drags enemies in from all directions and crushes them like a mini black hole. Each of your weapons can level up twice with use, which results in new bonuses for your favorite guns. Level 2 marksmen and Deadeyes get improved scopes, while a level 3 shotgun can blast out an impressive wall of fire. Several of the new enemy types complement your arsenal and bring new dimensions to firefights. The armored plates of rushing brawlers can be blown off with a magnum sticky explosive rounds, while jumping long legs are a good excuse for using the bullseye's homing tags. The toughest moments come as you face mixed groups with different strengths, but it does take time for the challenge to ramp up, so Resistance veterans may want to start with the hardest difficulty setting. Resistance 3 doesn't look bad by any means, but its visuals aren't leading the PS3 pack, especially when you consider its contemporaries like Killzone and Uncharted. Among its strengths are shifting color palettes and diverse environments, which give each location a distinct look. Dust and wind effects blow across the ground when dropships come in, and the game is quite a bit more violent than its predecessors, with Chimera exploding in gouts of blood and unfortunate souls having their heads ripped off. Facial animations are stiff, however, even during clear shifts to pre-rendered cutscenes. The audio design is solid with capable voice actors and enemies that give clear cues when they die, allowing you to quickly refocus during intense firefights. The soundtrack sticks to a characteristic orchestral score, creating an atmosphere that mixes military and horror themes. The increased emphasis on weapons is clearly the right move for Resistance 3. Trying out different guns and upgrading each is a blast, and there are some fun surprises as the game goes on. Despite some neat boosters and abilities, the multiplayer doesn't do much to stand out, but the variety and pacing of the campaign makes it the best in the series so far.